Hello everyone, I'm Rich Lamont. Welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time here, welcome. So I had a request to bring back Material Mondays, where every Monday I will review a different type of material, kind of show some different ways to work with it, and kind of give an explanation on what I feel is a better option as far as brand and style and stuff. So this week we are going to discuss tinsels. Different types of tinsels, from flat, oval, even some twist and rope, and how I make my own twist and rope. So sit back, grab a cup of coffee or a cup of tea, whichever you fancy, and let's get into this. Alright, so here we are over at the bench. Now I've assembled a selection of the different types of tinsels that I do have. There's a couple I don't that I kind of wish I had for this video, but I think you guys you'll get the idea of what I'm trying to get across. So I have them kind of separated out into the different types of tinsels that they are. These are twists, these two. This is just an oval copper tinsel. These are flat tinsels. These wooden spools are antique tinsels. These ones are like a twist or a rope. These are all oval tinsels. Silver oval, these are gold oval, and these are embossed tinsels. So we'll get into each kind here. We'll start over in this upper left hand corner with Lagardin. Lagardin is a very good tinsel to use. It's one of my favorites. It's one that I started working with early on and have always really liked it. They just don't have some of the options like a twist. I haven't been able to find a twist from them. They do have a nice flat tinsel, but I'll show you that in a moment. So these twists here, this is the Uni-French one, which is, let me get that a little closer. It's a really nice tinsel to use. Hopefully you guys can see the detail in it. Now this is just a silver twist. This one is fairly easy to find. I get mine from feathersmc.com from John McClain. I forget what it is per spool, but he usually has it in stock. If not, I have found it on eBay before and some other fly shops. You can do a Google search and find it relatively easily. This one here, I'm not sure of the brand. I got this one at Malinda's fly shop in Altmar, New York. I'll leave the description and her contact information in the link below. But this one is a silver gold twist. So it's both silver and gold together. I'm not sure how well that's coming through. I don't have my up-close lens on. That would be fuzzy down here, but nice up close, whereas this one is nice down here, but fuzzy up close. So it's kind of trying to do the best I can, but hopefully you're able to see that silver and the gold in there. I haven't had a chance to use this one yet, but it really does look like a really nice tinsel. But if you're interested in obtaining some, like I said, I'll leave Malinda's contact information. She does not have an online shop or Facebook. She has a Facebook page, but she doesn't have a shop online, so you'll have to contact her directly via phone. Now, as far as like a gold twist, or if you have a twist, you want something larger, you want a rope that you don't have, what I like to do is make my own. And I'll show you how to do that really quick. This is just a Conair like hair trimmer, a beard trimmer. And I took the trimmer edge off, the top off of it, and it had this post here that rotates. So all I did was just screw in an eye hook, and that spins. Pretty simple. And that's my gut twister, that's my thread twister, and my tinsel twister. So what I'll do is I'll take a small or medium, depends on what size you want, but I'll take small, let's do small for now, and I'll pull off about 18 or so inches. And then you can fold that in half, Get the two ends touching together. And just hold those tight in your fingers. Take the twister, and then you're just turn it on and let it twist up. When you start feeling it get tight, you'll notice that if you put some slack into it, it'll want to twist on its own. I'm going to go a little more. Then fold it in half, pull that off, and when you let go of it, oh, and that happens. Messed it up just a little bit. So we can get this twister back in there. Alright, so we'll just twist that back up again a little bit more. Fold it in half, remove the hook, and then when you let go of it, it'll twist itself up, and you now have some gold twist. You can do it with silver, copper, whatever you like, and you can do it different sizes. You know, if you're working with a smaller fly and you need some gold twist, just use the small oval. If you need something a little bit larger, you can use the medium. And if you're working with a really big fly and you want something really thick, you can work with a large. But as you can see, this fly from my last video is an 8-0, and this was, I used medium twist for this, or medium oval for this to make the twist. So, you know, you can see that that medium is plenty big enough for such a large fly. So that's pretty much how I make my own twist. It's kind of more of a rope, but along the same lines. But very simple to do, and it can save you from having to try and search and search and search. So that's the twists. Now, with the flat tinsels, there's a couple different types you can get. You can get mylar, you can get metal. Metal is much better. It's more stout, it's more forgiving. It's a little harder to work with at first until you kind of get the hang of the pinch points and where to make your creases. But it also has a very sharp edge. And as far as the flat goes, Lagardin is my go-to. I haven't been able to find any in Vivis. I'm sure they do make it, I just haven't been able to find any yet. And the Lagardin makes a really nice flat silver tinsel. So this is their large flat silver. It's very nice, it's very bright, and I really do love working with it. Now, Uni makes a mylar, which is more of a plastic, and that's a dual-sided, so you got gold on one side, silver on the other. Now, that's not too bad to work with. I do kind of like using it on occasion for some fishing flies and stuff, but if you look, it damages very easily. You can kind of straighten it out, but once you, it's like plastic, you know, once you start to stretch it, it starts to get those stretch marks in it, and once you use it on something, that's pretty much it. But it's a little bit more forgiving than the metal. The metal tinsel, like I said, it's, you know, takes a little bit of getting used to work with it. The problem with the mylar is that when you're wrapping it around a hook shank, it can slip and slide a little bit more than the metal does, and that makes it a little bit harder to get a nice, smooth, perfect body. But if you're using it for just a ribbing or something, it's really not too bad to work with. And it's also a cheaper option. So Uni makes Uni mylar, and then Danville makes one as well, which really isn't too bad. I prefer the Uni over Danville, but again, Danville's the same, silver on one side, gold on the other. So you also get the best of both worlds without having to search for two different spools of material. Now, as far as like ropes go, these two, like I said, I make my own. when I want something a little bit brighter. But these are the vintage tinsels. These are a little harder to come by. I was lucky enough to find a large lot on eBay a while back. But you can see the color on the gold is a little bit, I would say, dulled out over the years. It kind of gets a little, I don't want to say tarnished, but it kind of takes on a duller color. Whereas if you look at the Vivus that we just used to make this, that's much brighter. It's kind of a, you can see there's a bit of a difference. So I would say that's kind of the difference between most of the modern tinsels and some of the vintage ones. Now Uni-French, since we're discussing these, Uni-French has, their gold is a little bit duller. It's not quite the gold of the vintage, but it sort of has a somewhat more vintage look. And you can see by the color there. And the silver, I mean, silver's silver. It rarely looks much different. I mean, you look at, say, Vivus here, and then Lagarten here. If you look at the color differences, the Vivus is very bright. This one's kind of in the middle, and this one's a little bit duller. So it depends on what you're looking for in your fly. And if you can't quite get the color that you want in a vintage, like I said, you can always just take your tinsels and make your own. Okay, we'll go over to the oval tinsels. So like I said, we've got some color differences. So here's the vintage oval, which if you look a little bit deeper into this, you can see the color is a bit brighter. Let's open this up here. You look right up underneath there, you can see that gold that's down underneath there is much brighter than what's on the surface. What's on the surface it's been showing is, I guess, what you would say tarnished. It's got a little bit more of a duller color to it from being around all these years. But underneath it does have a nice bright gold color. So now I guess if you like the more tarnished look, the duller look, you can go with like the Uni-French. It is a metal tinsel. It does have a nice softer core. It's relatively easy to work with. I'm just, depending on the pattern, if I'm doing like an old school pattern that's, you know, pre-1940s or pre-1900, something like a cork collection, which was assembled in 1902, I believe. I would probably use more of a uni or the vintage tinsels over, say, the Vivus. The Vivus is very bright. I use that for more of the modern and artistic style flies. Get some wrapping on this one. I need to trim that down. And by the way, I'll leave a link in the description below for these thread and tinsel covers. These are actually great to have. So now when you're getting into the silver tinsels, like I said, silver's kind of silver. This would be the vintage silver oval. This would be the Vivus silver oval. And then this is the Uni-French. All very similar in color. Again, the Vivus is the brightest out of them, but they are very similar in color. So when it comes to silver, it really comes down to your preference. I think the Vivus has a bit of a better look to it, a bit of a better presentation. Uni-French is pretty good as well, but you know, Lagarten is another one that has, I don't want to say it's a bright finish, but a semi-bright finish. I don't have a large one to show. All I've got is this this small right now, but you can see the color and the slight differences in the color. This has more of a sheen to it in the Vivus. thread keeper back on there. And then we come down to the embossed tinsels. Now, embossed tinsels, they've got like an etched pattern into them, which a lot of patterns do. They don't call for it, but a lot of patterns do look better with embossed tinsels.